So just yesterday at the Nintendo Direct Partner Showcase, we saw the surprise shadow drop announcement of Castlevania the Dominus Collection, which consists of the 3 fan-beloved Castlevania classics from the DS era. We have Castlevania Dawn of Sorrow, many's best-ranked Castlevania game in the entire franchise in some cases. It's ranked an 89 on Metacritic to boot. We have Portrait of Ruin, which is ranked 85 on Metacritic, and Order of Ecclesia, which is also 85. Konami opted to give us Haunted Castle in this collection as well, which is a revisited and redesigned version of the very first Castlevania arcade game. So in today's video, I want to take an objective look at this collection of games for the price point of $25, which is what it is going for at the time that I am filming it here in the US region in the eShop, and take a brief look at each of these games and just how they've transferred over from a gameplay perspective and a layout perspective on the Nintendo Switch from their DS original releases, and ultimately come to the conclusion on whether or not this is a collection that you might be wanting to pick up as a fan of the Metroidvania genre or not. And we're gonna get on the same page with all of that. Before we do, make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on your bell notification to join Sunbro Nation if you're new here. And with that, we'll hop straight into some Castlevania Dominus Collection gameplay. So right out of the gate, we have the intro screen, and we will kind of walk through the menu system first, because with any Castlevania collection, it's kind of nice to see the layout of the content that they're giving us. Just immediately, like, the tunes that hit from Castlevania are definitely striking a nostalgic chord with me, because I absolutely love these games. However, I very much was one that spent the majority of my time in the Castlevania universe from the NES to SNES era, which I will also be checking these games out rather with the SNES Special Edition controller, or the NSO controller rather. Let's check out Extra real quick. So you have Haunted Castle Japanese version, and then you have like a revisited version, which definitely looks like it will have enhanced visuals. We may hop into those after some of the primary experiences within the collection, but you can kind of see everything laid out just in the home menu here. Very nice whenever it comes to a gallery. I'm assuming you probably, well, maybe you don't need to unlock any of this stuff. I was assuming maybe it was grayed out because you did. Looks like that might not be the case. So you just kind of have like a bonus gallery to go through and look at anything you want in terms of the extras in these games. You have the entire soundtracks, it looks like, from each of them, which is just awesome. I mean, this is honestly something that I could see myself just booting up and listening to. Castlevania music is that good. And then let's check out the settings, because this is something that, you know, whenever you want to play a game similar to how you remember, it's very important in terms of figuring out what settings are there. So American version, Japanese version, European version, Korean version for Order of Ecclesia, and then you are missing that on Portrait of Ruin and Dawn of Sorrow. What the reason is behind that, not entirely sure. You have like kind of, I guess, a swap of your buttons here, so you can reverse them if you'd prefer. And then you just have like a control, so left stick, control character, or you can move the touch cursor. So what does that mean exactly? So I guess, oh, okay, so we could assign the left stick to either the to either control your character, meaning like the analog stick, or to move the touch cursor, which that's actually a good question. We might not be able to play it with this controller if that is indeed a requirement. But we will first hop into Dawn of Sorrow. This is very much the one that I cannot wait to go ahead and essentially dive into and play to completion. I love all of these games, but I have a limited level of nostalgia for these, as I mentioned. You do have a few different game options here. So enemy set mode and game start. We're just going to go straight into the start mode. It looks very much to me, and I was not sure if this would be the case or not. Oh, okay, so that just explained it to me there, but it looks like ZR is what you actually need to press to move around the cursor. Now, the issue that I'm going to run into a little bit with this controller is it does seem like it wanted to assign that to the joystick. So just keep in mind, you might be better off with playing this with a Pro controller rather, but we'll skip past the opening of this and get directly into some gameplay. So right out of the gate, everything feels nice and responsive, but one thing that I do want to point out, because since these are DS games, it's kind of nice, honestly, because you do have like the whole left portion of the screen right now, where you can see, you know, my character's health and all the primary action. But this is very much what it looked like in the trailer. And so far, unless if I'm missing it, because you guys are kind of seeing my initial boot up and reaction of this game, I think that this is going to be the only aspect ratio to kind of play in, where essentially you have the DS, what would have been the DS second screen, on the display the entire time. So you just have your box available to the left, and then you have obviously all of your information, which I believe we're going to be able to easily look at the map on screen all at once. We're going to be able to see all of our various different character stats and things. So this could be kind of in the more convenient direction to have. However, I'm very curious to see, and we will test this out in just a moment. This may indeed be designed to where I should essentially be like holding the ZR button in order to use my cursor, and it looks like that is what I do, but I don't think it's letting me move it around just because of this D-pad here. And in fact, just to confirm that, we're going to swap controllers out real quick. Okay, so after some brief messing around, I can indeed confirm you should be playing this with something with analog sticks on it. Doesn't have to be a pro controller, but that's absolutely what you want to do, because you do have a lot of additional options that I did not notice right at first. So the first thing I want to correct is we do actually have numerous screen layouts that you can toggle between, one big, one small display, one on top of each other, DS style. And then I really do think that the most ideal and just what you probably are going to want to lead with is the default setting. In a perfect world, I would have liked to see them add one where it's entirely full screen for your one display, and then you optionally can pull up those secondary displays if you need to. But nonetheless, this is the DS port. Not complaining here. I do actually like the options that they have included. You can also customize your different button layout, it seems like almost entirely, so that is very nice. You can definitely mess around with a number of different options if you want to change anything that's included in the game by default. And so we're only going to play just a very brief moment of Dawn of Sorrow. Even though I intend to go through this game to its entirety, I do want you guys to be able to kind of see a quick look at multiple different games within this collection, but just in terms of like the visual presentation, the soundtrack, everything that you know, love, remember that you want to see from these games playable in terms of their Nintendo Switch release, it's all intact. Also, do want to mention quickly for other console players out there, yeah, this is only one version that you can pick up. Like, you don't have to get this thing on Switch. If you game on PS5, Series X, anything else, it looks like from what I can see, this released on all major platforms. So this is a huge win. Some of the best Metroidvania games of all time are now available, easily to play in a great collection. So we will hop back to the main menu and kind of go through another experience next, so you guys can see just a different look at different games briefly. We are now in Portrait of Ruin, which right out of the gate, you can swap your characters right away, of course. I mean, if you know this game, you're kind of going to know what to expect. But this is looking and playing just the same. Very nice, very responsive. And also, do want to point out that the same visual options like that we mentioned before, where you can change out your settings and everything, just by a default hitting the ZL button, that's going to bring up that menu at any point in time, and you can do that. It appears like on any Castlevania game. So that is something that is, again, welcome and nice to see. We do have to get this bridge down, but nonetheless, yeah, music intact, everything looks, sounds great. I mean, if you have nostalgia for these games, I'm already going to tell you, just from the look and presentation, and just considering that these are DS classics that you can now play on a big screen, Metroidvania fans, I'm going to recommend this one to you at the $25 price point. I definitely think it's going to be a worthwhile pickup. The amount of gameplay that is in these three DS classics, and then even Haunted Castle that we still have to get to, I mean, it's a lot of content, a lot of gameplay, and a lot of fun for Castlevania lovers. And that's just the reality of it, is that this was a huge win that we got Nintendo, or got this released on the Switch, I guess you should say, and Konami to bring it back in a classic collection. I absolutely love to see that. And would like to point out just how convenient it is, even though, like, if you really want the full big screen experience, yeah, you do have like the other displays to the right of your main display, but that is very convenient for a game like Castlevania, where you're going to be looking at the map frequently, trying to figure out what you've missed and where you need to backtrack and go back to. Like, it's obviously going to be kind of considered an upgrade across the board, I would say, just in terms of the presentation of the game. Again, maybe in a perfect world would have potentially liked to see this where we do have one full screen option. I will tell you guys, a big reason I didn't play as much Castlevania on the DS is just because even though some had some of the best games, I've always been a TV console gamer myself when at all possible, to the point that I've really missed out on some great moments in gaming. And this is one of those that it's literally the perfect thing for me. I'm so glad that we have this and that it's actually available. for 25 bucks, these games all thrown together in a collection pack, and nonetheless, we got it as a shadow drop announcement. This is definitely the most hype reveal of the Nintendo Direct for me personally. But we will lastly just kind of go back to our main menu. We'll return, no, not return to game, but end game rather, and we will hop into Order of Ecclesia next. So you guys can go ahead and see that. We'll skip past the very intro where we're creating the save file. We now have Order of Ecclesia right at the beginning of the game after a very brief tutorial and getting like your first initial glyphs or attacks. So, gosh, you know, just every single one of these games, I will tell you, is going to be a lot of hours of enjoyment here. And you know, they all have that same visual style and that same presentation, so there's really no variance, no downside or anything that I can tell you guys that stick out as like a kind of a concern with this. So I will just say that I think you should get this collection, hop into it, and you know, if you have any level of nostalgia for any of these, or if you just want to kind of see essentially what some of the series fans talk about as, you know, the best Castlevania games of all time, it's going to be worth it for that alone. Hopefully, if the $25 price point is, you know, something that has you a little bit hung up, maybe you don't want to spend quite that much on it. We sometimes see these Castlevania collections go on sale, so it's not like it's out of the realm of possibility for that to happen. But I would just say that I really do think that the value is absolutely there at the $25 price point. So, you know, if you are somebody who enjoys a good Metroidvania game, it's just going to be a kind of a no-brainer solution. So we will lastly, very quickly and briefly, just kind of look at the Haunted Castle, so you guys can see that, at least the redone edition, so just so you have a full look at everything that this collection has to offer. So again, as soon as the menu as soon as the music kicks up and everything, you want to kind of just keep playing these, but I do want to make it as concise as possible for the purposes of the video. But we will take a look at this because this was a kind of a cool bonus thing that I didn't necessarily expect to see as part of this collection. In fact, it was like very briefly in the trailer, and I had to like double take as to what that was. So the original arcade version of Castlevania, playable. I mean, and look how buff Simon Belmont looks here. So cool stuff. You know, definitely a collection that is just, I mean, you think about 4 of these different experiences that you're going to have all readily available on your Switch, and handheld mode looking beautiful on the OLED. And biggest win for me, guys, is instead of playing these on a handheld like the DS, you have it fully available on a literally whatever size TV screen you want with your Switch in docked mode. So very big win. The visual presentation to this, I mean, it looks incredible. It's definitely on par, if not even just a little bit upgraded from what those 3DS visuals kind of looked like for us. So you know, again, soundtrack, you guys are probably going to be hearing a lot more Castlevania music in the background of my upcoming videos, because as I continue to play through this, the nostalgia is going to continue to be there. So definitely an enjoyable collection. I think it's a steal at 25 bucks for all of this content. I would like to hear from you guys in the comments below if you have any intentions on picking up these classic Castlevania games, if it's something you may wait for overall. Maybe you're going to wait for a sale. You need to see it at that $15 or $20 price point. I really think that this is a great value at 25, but let me know how you feel about this surprise shadow drop announcement in the comments down below, and if you're planning on picking up this great Castlevania DS game collection, and with Haunted Castle to boot. So thanks so much for watching the video. Make sure you share all your thoughts and feelings in the comments down below, regardless if we agree or disagree. Also, make sure you like, subscribe, turn on your notification bell. And with that, I've been Sunbro, you've been Nation. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.